Is it too late to call you right back? I gotta be back in a second. I'm off the drink, I'm feeling the vibe. Now you gon' go.
All right. I do post these onto YouTube as well for those who are going to want to share this later on. But like I was saying, I'm somebody who, I'm a strong believer in the fact that no matter what, like, especially as an entrepreneur, you're always going to be on a constant self-discovery stage. It's never ending. You're always working on yourself and you're going to discover a different part of you, right? So during these holidays, I don't know if any of you can relate, but we're going to be in a room full of a lot of mixed personalities, a lot of different mindsets, a lot of different people who are in very different positions in their lives, right? And a lot of different energies, amen to that. And what I need every single person in here to understand is that I'm checking your temperature today, because I will be damned if somebody checks your temperature on what you have been doing and what you have established and the road that you are on today, right? So I don't want anybody else to come over here doing that to you, because why? During these holidays, sometimes it's easy to get discouraged. It's easy to get asked the questions by the ones that know it all, right? It's so easy to get spoken down on. And we have to really prepare ourselves today that this Merry Christmas, we're in a very different area, like a time in our lives right now, right? So we have to come in with some really thick skin, especially going into the holidays, right? So my subject for today is going to be validation and approval. And by definition, the difference between approval and validation is that validation is an act of validating something, while approval is an expression granting permission, right? An indication of agreement with the proposal, an acknowledgement that a person, thing, or event meets requirements, right? So today's the day, y'all. Tomorrow we'll be in the Merry Christmas vibe, but I'm giving you all a gift today. And call this your early Christmas gift from Marcy. But I promise that the value behind this one, like if you could put a price tag on this gift that I'm giving you, we'll drop it in the chat box towards the end. I'll let y'all rate this one later on. But let's keep it real. Temperatures get checked on Thursdays. And if you were a part of my last call, we ended up playing a game. I know a lot of you are new, but last call we did play a game that I had every single person put 10 fingers up in front of the camera. Everybody was muted, and I made every single person literally put one finger down and tell me 10 things that they loved about themselves. I gave them 3 minutes to only tell me 10 things that they loved about themselves. Granted, I had tried this a long time ago. one of my episodes, I tried this in the past, and I gave people 2 minutes. Now, I saw people struggling so much and the time just ticked and it clocked out and it stopped. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm bugging. Maybe I should have given them 1 more minute, but it's cool. I'll try it again later on. I gave a whole extra minute and people struggled to give me 10 things that they liked about themselves. As a matter of fact, at the very end, some people still had 10 fingers. Some people still had like one hand, right? And it was a 3-minute game that lasted over 72 hours in my head. Because it really sat with me, like, especially because all I asked was give me 10 things that you love about yourself and put one finger down for each thing that you say. So the fact that I know some of you personally, which is why I have the cameras on, the fact that I know some of you personally, and I know how amazing you are, and I know the value that you bring to the table, and I could sit here and tell you 30 things that I love about you as an individual. Actually, I would probably have to ask you, do you want me to tell you 30 things that I like about you as a friend, as an individual, or just in general? That's crazy, and you struggle to tell me 10 about you, right? So, thank you, because it really sparked a flame in me that I hope spreads like wildfire through tonight's call, because I'm pissed. Okay, and you should be pissed. And if you were on this call last week, shout out to you for bringing this out of me. Because more times than not, We're determining whether we are people of value or not based off of what other people around us tell us. So you sparked this conversation today. Because this is me and you talking, right? This is me speaking to you. This is me seeing all this of you. But you're about to be walking into a room full of people in Christmas and New Year's who are probably going to have like a prejudgment already ready for you. You've probably already been a topic of conversation in the midst of people that are discussing what they're going to wear, what they're going to do. Like, it's so sad to say that, right? But maybe it's our environment maybe our environment really is the one to blame for us being so hard on ourselves, for us being so difficult for us to discuss what we love about ourselves. This was only 10 things, and you had 3 minutes. Now, maybe it is, like I did say, maybe it's our environment, and it could also be our friends, family even. But I'm fully aware that each and every single one of you are currently undergoing a shift in your life, right? Like a shift where you acknowledge where you are and you are now aware of where you no longer want to be and are also working on an exit strategy, right? A plan to obtain like this massive change. And some might not be there. They might not have it all figured out yet, but you might even be stuck with understanding where you're even going to find your way out. Some people might not even know who the heck they are still, and that's fine. Maybe it's an emotional thing. You're possibly trying to discover just you in general before you figure out what the direction that you're going. But you need to know, who are you? Who you are. You need to be able to answer to that. There's one thing that you have to answer to is who you are. And it's so scary to say, like to even admit that we still might not know who the hell we are. I need someone to tell me what the deadline is to having the answer to that. Real shit. I need someone to tell me the answer. Like, what is the date? Like, and I'll wait. When do you have to know what the hell your purpose is by? Like, what's the due date? The answer doesn't exist. It's a lifelong discovery. Amen. That's the right answer. That's the right answer. There is no actual date. So why do we apply so much pressure on ourselves in order to be able to because, oh, I don't know where I'm at, so I haven't made it. I'll never be anything. No. Are you crazy? Do you realize the amount of pressure that we apply to ourselves daily, family? Like daily. Do you realize that you might be the reason why you don't, that you might be the reason why you drive yourself crazy one day? Every day is a new day. Katie, are you dumb? I always say that, guys. And I don't mean to offend anybody, but it just comes out naturally. You'll hear it flow out eventually, but you're already the one self-sabotaging yourself by comparing yourself to like your neighbors, to your peers. And if you're identifying your voice by utilizing someone else's voice, simply off of them being your inspiration, you already messed up. And I'm gonna tell you why. There's a difference between inspiration and comparison. Okay, so inspiration, you motivate you. Comparison, you question you. Like you're questioning yourself. You're questioning, dang, okay, so she could wear that because she looks like, like you're comparing yourself. That's really what it is. It's a toxic trait. And there's something so amazing about every single individual's voice that makes them so unique. Like I promise you, you look at my circle and you might be a little bit confused as to like, whoa, like this is a huge mixture of personalities. If you sit down and if you put myself, Katie, D, Neno, and Natalia in a room, you might be so confused as far as how we're friends. So confused. Like personalities, way off the walls, very different. But I don't change the way that I talk because I'm around certain people because they talk different from me. Right? So there's a difference between being inspired by somebody and comparison, because then you somewhat end up being kind of like in a big competition, right? Within yourself. You bring that upon yourself. There's a reason why everyone has different fingerprints. This is something that I like telling people because each and every single person is very unique. And sometimes it takes something a little bit more on the physical side for them to understand, right? So you notice how it's crazy how we all have fingerprints, but my fingerprint is so different from yours because it's one of a kind. So we all have fingerprints, but what yours unlocks, mine can't. So then why are we tampering with our identity sometimes? No matter how much you change the way you talk, the way that you walk, the way you talk, the way you dress, the way you carry yourself to match the fingerprint of another person, why do all that if you'll never be able to unlock what they can with their fingerprint? Because it's their identity. Are you following? So just because you look the part doesn't mean that you're A, doing it for the right reasons, or B, it just doesn't fit you. I always had such an issue with people who lack originality and like identity. And it actually might be one of my biggest pet peeves. Like I can really depict when someone is organically them and when they're not. 1,000%. It is crazy. Put it like this. I can put it like this. I talk how I talk. I speak very differently. I don't need, if you told me to explain my personality, I wouldn't be able to be honest with you. And my friends can't either. If you ask them like, what type of person is Marcy? They'll be like, she's Marcy. I've heard it so many times. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Like, excuse me. I'm that person that a lot of people are like, just please, like, tone it down. Like, what do you mean tone it down? Like, I'm Marcy. What you mean? Like, you know, put it like this. Like, if I was to speak differently, those that know me from just these calls, like, you'll be able to tell. Like, if I was to be here and be like, if I was to come on here one day, right, hop on temperature check and be like, hello everyone, this is Temperature Check Thursday segment, where the topic we will cover today must, like, no. You know how much I just burned my whole soul? Like, my hands are sweating right now. Like, I can't believe I just spoke like that. I don't know what just took over me. That wasn't me. There's one thing that I discovered through my journey of being this lost soul. And some of you, like Sammy, you know me. Like, Sammy's somebody who knows me from way back in the day. I was a lost soul, and Sammy can vouch to that, right? There's one thing that I discovered through this journey of me being this lost soul, this no identity person before I had this full sense of direction, and it was my voice. Y'all, I'm so unapologetically myself that I don't know how to be any different. And once you discover your voice, you establish what you do with it. Everything else falls into place. So much starts with your voice. So I tell people are like, oh, I can't talk like you. No, you can't sound like me. I promise you can't. I don't know how to sound like me. But I could tell you, speak firm. When you speak firm, the room listens. Don't shake. Don't run from, oh, what if they don't like me? No. Listen, I am not everyone's cup of tea. I actually feel like I scare some people away from speaking to me, but it's because sometimes I feel like if I scare you, I'm very myself, I'm very genuine, but sometimes I feel like if I scare you away from speaking to me, it's because you know I'm going to call a bluff and I'm going to spot something. So much changes around you when you take yourself serious, family. Allow your voice to be heard because that's when you establish your respect. Allow your voice to be established. Establish that shit. Because you need to stop dimming your light because you're scared of who's gonna be upset that you outshine them. I'm gonna say that again. Stop dimming your light because you're scared of who's gonna be upset that you outshine them. I got a real serious question for y'all. Are you afraid of who you will lose if you were to be unapologetically you? I'm gonna say that one more time because I felt that. Are you afraid of who you will lose if you were to be unapologetically you? Are you afraid of who would whisper and talk under their breath when you enter or exit a room if you were to be yourself unapologetically? A lot of people are sitting here like, nah. Some of y'all not even answering. I really wonder if y'all even heard that the second time. But let's keep it real. A lot of people will still speak with their inside voices when they should be speaking up for themselves. How many times have you done something that you really didn't want to do, but the person or people demanding it, just demand it in a way that you don't know how to say no? I want you to leave here today with the gift of discovering your voice. That's my gift to you. I'm gonna help you discover your voice. Because the ones that we're going to face this weekend and be mingling with might be friends, family, shit, they might be familiar, they're gonna be familiar faces. They're gonna ask you a few questions that might sting, especially if you don't have the answer to them. Or especially if you don't have the right answer to them. Especially if they sometimes they're gonna ask you a question already judging you, and you're gonna know that. You feel that energy. Okay? You're gonna know that you were already a topic of discussion depending on the tonality of the voice that's being asked to you. Oh, there comes Marcy, like, talking to all her viewers, like, we're not her subscribers. All them hating ass comments. Get ready. Y'all need to have some tough skin. Suit up. I'm telling y'all, suit the hell up. That's what we're doing today. You know what's crazy? Sometimes they ask you these questions knowing that you don't even have the answer to them. And I need you to be firm, all right? Be firm, because you set the tone when it comes to how people address you. You set the respect and the boundaries, right, that people speak to you with. I wish somebody would be bold enough to try to step to my face and tell me about me. I really do. They know better, but I set that tone. You need to have that attitude. I wish somebody would come sit next to me at the table and try to tell me, oh, what's that little thing you got going on? Tell me that won't be the most difficult spoon or drink to swallow that you will ever have in your entire life. You have to have that type of attitude when it comes down to you and defending yourself. 1,000%. Because if I could be in the goddamn room to defend you 24/7, I really would. Ask Katie. Like, I'm that person that if I could speak for everybody, I really fucking would. So no, don't be disrespectful. I'm not saying that. Don't be disrespectful. Kill them with kindness. But be firm when you stand your ground. Let this be the last year that you allow anyone to make you feel like you're less than what you know deep down inside that you are, simply because you don't have it all figured out. Let this be the last time that you're addressed as the current value that your bank account holds because you haven't reached the 7 figures that you're meeting halfway. I'm gonna run that shit back. Let this be the last time that you're addressed as the current value that your bank account holds because you haven't reached the 7 figures that you are meeting halfway. The last time. But only do that because you're actually working to get there. Okay? Remember, how bad it hurts is how true it is. How bad it hurts is how true it is. So make sure that your work ethic matches where your mouth is at. I'm not saying talk about success, because remember, your mouth is too big for where you're trying to go. This is your race. So stay true to what you need to do. All that outside noise, like that outside pressure, that's nothing. Right? It should be non-existent. You ever hear whenever you go to to the library, like, it's like alcohol on a wound. It's like, yeah, like Cedric just said, it's like alcohol on a wound. it disinfects. That's what I said last week. It's like alcohol on a wound. That shit disinfects. Like I was saying, if you ever go to a library and you just hear that, there's no noise in the library. You know why, right? Because it's where it's where you grow. It's where you go to grow. It's where you go to study. It's where you plan. It's where you build. That's what you're doing right now. No noise in the library. You're studying to obtain skill sets, to achieve things you never have. You're planning an exit strategy to where you've never been, to go where you've never been. And you're building an empire that not everyone is going to be welcome to enjoy with you. That's the sad truth. Set the tone now. My brothers keep calling me. Set the tone now. Not everyone is welcome on the journey that you're on. And don't get frustrated with the small-minded people. Understand them. They're small-minded. Aw, Tito. Simply stand firm and continue. Literally, whenever they try to hit you with that little dream, like, aw. Dang, I really want to say some petty shit. I would probably be like, oh, you know, $9 an hour. Don't do that though. That's ugly. That's ugly. But stand firm and continue. It's not your fault they're small-minded. The small-minded gonna be small-minded. They happy with their $9. That is not your problem. We are in a different lane. You can't judge them for that. Just simply stand firm and continue. Because your little business, your little journey is always going to outweigh their little salary, their little hourly. You feel me? Because by continuing to what you're doing, you stick to the process. And when your crops harvest, they'll just sit there and be like, damn, I actually did that. But the craziest part is that they're still going to try to knock your shit. The fact that you actually did it, all of a sudden that's going to be like, oh, she forgot about everybody. Oh yeah, my little dream came true. I forgot about everybody that didn't believe in me. Crazy, right? I know one thing about it and two things for sure. The blind will always be blind to what they don't want to see. So don't let the visionary impaired tell you that your vision isn't accurate or attainable. I'm going to say that one more time. Don't let the visionary impaired tell you that your vision isn't accurate or attainable. But don't do things to prove them wrong either. Like, don't go tit for tat. Because you fall off track when you go out of your way. Right? Because you go out of your way to prove somebody wrong, guess what? You fell off track. For what? What they want is not what you want, so goodbye. Because you have no idea how many times you're subconsciously trying to prove something to a person who isn't paying attention. Sometimes they might throw some shade and then you're here trying so hard to, like, you get off track. You're trying so hard to, like, I'm going to prove it to them. I'm going to show them. Guess what? They probably forgot. Because they got to go clock in. What you mean? They forgot about you. But shit might not even, like, they might even act like they don't see you winning, even though it's what you're doing. So come out from under the pressure because you have nothing to prove. You see how we manifest things and we pray and we affirm with so much certainty, guys? And little by little things begin to align, and some areas begin to align with and others tend to fall apart. Like, you ever notice that whenever you're going really, 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 really good and you're doing well, certain things start to do great and then others just start to, like, diminish and start to fall apart, right? You know why? It's because every time that God answers a prayer, there's an opposing factor that makes success not taste so successful. It makes it not taste so good. Oh, but you didn't know that some of your family and friends will be the ones to go against you. You didn't understand why when you asked, remove what is not for me, what is not with me, remove all oppositions that impose. You didn't know that the people you love most will be the ones to show you different sides of them? It's kind of crazy, but that's really how it is. And you have to make it happen. Bust a move or nothing is going to happen in your life. Let them go. Sometimes spring cleaning ain't your closet. But as more people love you, family, the more people that hate you will start to surface. And the more people that love you and support you, the more that people will hate you. You have to decide if you're doing things to be visible or accepted or for you. So do all that you need to do, even if it causes you to be hated. Because to be who you're actually meant to be, you gotta be true to yourself. Family, happiness is short term. Let me tell you that. Happiness is short term. Success is lonely. That's the real truth. I don't sugarcoat anything. Success is lonely. We minimize what we accomplish when we take ourselves for granted. Yes, a life without balance results in an imbalanced life, right? But are you allowing people to be the ones who throw you off balance? Because that's really how this goes. Unhealthy people bring unhealthy habits, right? That act as like toxins in your healthy lifestyle. So how much power are you giving them, these toxic people? Posture up against whoever it is that takes your kindness for weakness. Because your new path, they ain't welcome. Act like you have your positive attitude towards life and stand firm on what you tolerate we have to stand firm on what we tolerate in our lives, point blank. You gotta use your voice to set that tone because you have nobody to impress but you. You have nobody to outwork but yourself. And you shouldn't sound like anyone. Your voice shouldn't sound like anybody else's voice because your thoughts are different. You should voice your thoughts though and march to the sound of your own drum, whatever that may sound like, because like I did say, happiness is short term. But on this journey, you're mainly self-discovering and you're bringing forth vision, all right? And that brings long-term self-fulfillment. So implement your plan of action. You should always expect the things that you accept. So if you accept disrespect, then it's expected of you to continue to disrespect me. If you disrespect me over and over again, I'm giving you permission to continue to disrespect me. So make a decision that you're going to develop that voice that you need to use when you're protecting yourself. And if you're still someone who's floating around discovering what you're going to stand for, so firm about, I guess, like if you still don't know who you are, you're still trying to discover, like, oh Marcy, I'm trying to discover that inner voice of mine. I'm still trying to discover what I'm standing firm about. Start off with you. You don't know what your end goal is, cool, but start off with you. Take yourself serious. Before you love anything, you have to love yourself. Oh, but I can't be so fierce. I get hit with these messages all the time. Oh, I can't be so fierce. Oh, I don't have it in me to be that firm. Yeah, you do. Everybody does. And there's a starting point. Do it for yourself. Write down 5 things that you haven't unlocked yet, that you haven't been able to be in public, and read them to yourself in the mirror daily. And when I say that you haven't been able to be in public is because I know that a lot of people are still somebody else behind closed doors. A lot of people are just afraid to be their full self in public, but they probably stand in front of the mirror and practice giving speeches. They probably are hilarious. They probably have a whole different side of them that they just don't voice. A lot of people suppress who they really are on a daily basis, right? And they're like the most extrovert introverts, right? A lot of people are like this. A lot of people have so much to offer, but they just don't know how to put it into words. They don't know how to be themselves. Or they do, but they're just scared to be, who's going to accept me? Oh, what are people going to think if my joke ain't funny? My jokes ain't funny half the time. I'll tell you that much. But I say them. Practice it, guys. Practice that self-confidence. No, you don't have to sound like me. I sound like I'm pissed every time I talk because I'm aggressive. But there's different ways of your voice. Your voice might be very different than mine. And your voice might give me chills in a very mellow way, right? But be true to yourself. Write down the 5 things that you haven't unlocked yourself. Write down the 5 secrets that world doesn't know about you yet that makes you so amazing, that makes you so unique. And say them out loud. Make them real. Bring them to life. Because you're different. Something about you makes you very, very, very genuine and just different. Bring that shit out. Stop being scared. You die tomorrow, nobody ever knew who you were. That's your fault. Because you didn't give yourself that opportunity. You didn't give yourself the floor. You never handed yourself the mic. You were always pass the mic and you pass it down to the next person because they could do it better than you. No. You know, Les Brown once said that there's winners, there are losers, and there are people who haven't discovered how to win. There are winners, there are losers, and there are those who haven't discovered how to win. And I don't think that you're weak if you haven't discovered who you are yet. Because you will. I think that you're weak if you're pretending to be something that you're not. Because chances are that if you are at least firm with who you are, that means that you have a foundation. So this is not compete with your, when we tap in with everybody, right? This is this weekend. This is not one of those like compete with your sibling type things. Like, oh, the one that got the degree. Like, why can't you be like that? No. There is no guideline on being a winner. My race might not be yours to win. You might be in the same lane, the same career as me, but you ain't me. No matter what. You could wake up at the same time as me. You could read the same books as me. You could journal the same use the same goddamn pen, the same journal, everything. But we will never be the same. And that's what makes you guys so amazing. That's what makes us all so dope. The fact that we could all literally be in a room full of 10 people doing the same exact thing, but we're all so different. So why are you not shedding light on your voice and who you are? We don't see competition. Entrepreneurs, we don't really see competition. Competition is for small-minded people, right? Competition is for small-minded people that have too much time on their hands. And I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that. Because, y'all, if you're really in your lane, if you're really focused on your goal, if you're really focused on where you're going and your tunnel vision, you shouldn't be able to tell me what so-and-so, I don't know, I'm going to use a random name, what Jessica and Derek have going on in their lives. What Jessica and Derek are doing or not doing to make yourself feel better. No, you should not be comparing yourself. Even judging somebody else from the outside, judging somebody else surrounding you, that still counts as you having way too much time on your hands because you're gonna justify what you didn't do by looking at what Jessica and Derek haven't done. Oh, I'm on a good path because, you know, I still accomplished more than them. No, sorry ass. Like, that is not how this goes. Competition is for small-minded individuals that have way too much time on their hands. So shift the way that you think. This holiday season, I just know because there's so many... Y'all, my brothers love me too much. I apologize, they keep calling me. But anyways, this holiday season, just know that because there's so many people that are miserable with themselves right now, that don't see or hold visions for themselves. They're gonna try to attack the ones that do have them. And this is me preparing all of you legends to posture up. Because dream killers gonna be dream killers wherever you allow them to stand. Oh, but I'm still trying to find myself. Cool. Think of something that you want for you that will give you, your life, a special meaning or power. Whenever you look at where you want to go, you're going to first ignore your inner conversation. All that negative talk, ignore that. Stop doubting yourself. Show up. Because if you don't program yourself, life will program you. What separates a dreamer from a doer is consistent follow through. Okay? What separates a successful person is the amazing follow through. You started this race, you finish it. Follow through. I don't care how much your feelings got hurt. I don't care who laughs at you. I don't care who doesn't believe in you. I don't care who's counting at the amount of projects and depicting every little thing that you did and didn't finish. Don't care. They got too much time on their hands. I don't care who talks about you when you leave the room. A big stepper. That's something I always say. I'm always like, I'm a big stepper. A big stepper is an average person with laser-like focus. And we don't take shit. We don't worry about your ability. We don't worry about your past opportunities. I need you to be a big stepper and let your work get you your opportunities. Let your work. What's up, family? So I unfortunately was cut off before the ending of my call. But at the very end, all I did was just thank everybody for tuning in this Thursday and every single Thursday that you guys do tune in. I wanted to wish every single one of you a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, and I just really hope that you all gain some type of value from this week's call. I did ask everybody to drop some fire emojis in the chat if they did gain any type of value, and that thing was going off. So with that being said, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for motivating me every single week, for being a part of the calls. And I just really hope that you guys gain something from the value that I do pour into these. Like, I do put my heart into this, and I'm grateful for everybody that does tune in. So I will see you guys next Thursday, 7 p.m. Peace, family, and happy holidays to your loved ones.